Hi, my name's Andy Townsend and I'd like to thank all the Footy-Boots.com bloggers for sending me in some questions. Let's rattle through a few of them and see if I can come up with a few answers. There's been a lot of talk about the World Cup ball, the Jabulani. Do you think it's responsible for the run of low-scoring games? I don't think it's helped, but Argentinians didn't struggle with it the other day. They seemed to knock 4 in with it. The Germans in their opening game against Australia looked pretty good. Every tournament I've ever been to as a player or as an analyst, we always moan about the ball. It's par for the course. This one, I think you can tell by the free kicks and set plays and stuff like that. We haven't seen even long shots. You know, we've seen 1 or 2 go in. Shabalala for South Africa on the opening day, and Slovenians yesterday scored a good goal. Ronaldo shot for Portugal against the Ivory Coast that whacked the post, but haven't seen too many going in from too great a distance. So I think there's something in it. Clearly too many are saying it's a bit average, and it's a great disappointment because it shouldn't be average. It should be the sort of ball that you love playing with. Nike have kitted all their endorsed players out in bright orange and purple boots. The idea is to make it easier for a player to see their teammates on the pitch. Do you think it helps them, or is it more for the TV cameras? I would like to think, I don't think I've ever looked up and seen a pair of boots rather than seeing a face or a teammate. So I'm sure Nike very much had that in mind when they decided to put a chunk of orange and purple on their boots, that it's more to catch the eye for fans and TV cameras rather than to catch the eye of a teammate. So yeah, as I say, I've never been playing on a pitch and noticed a pair of boots and decided, oh, there's my teammate, I'm going to give him the ball. No, it doesn't work like that, I'm afraid. This year's World Cup, there's been a massive focus on making the lightweight football boots. Do you think these boots compromise player safety? And do you think these boots assist players' performance? Compromising safety a little bit, I think, yeah. I think you've seen the metatarsal injury has become so prominent over the last 4 or 5 years. That must have something to do with the lightweight nature of the boots, not offering the same sort of protection as perhaps they once did years ago. I know it's got a lot to do with the surfaces, because the surfaces are that good and that tightly knitted now that can also be a factor. But lightweight boots are wonderful. I'm sure they feel like a pair of slippers. I haven't put a pair of boots on actually for about 5 or 6 years, but the last pair I did put on seemed very, very light and very nice, but felt like a pair of slippers, literally. So I would imagine, yeah, a bit of safety is compromised for sure. You captained Ireland at the '94 World Cup in the USA, where temperatures were very high. How did you go about keeping hydrated, and how important do you think it is in the relatively cool winter of South Africa? Well, again, you know, in terms of hydrated, you have to keep taking on board all the fluids, like the Lucozade sport drinks. You've got to keep them going on board all the time. In fact, it was that hot in Orlando when we played. We were throwing bottles around the pitch to each other, so getting a bottle on the side, and then it was working its way across the midfield, cross out to the other side, back to the fullback, and coming back empty. So we actually did 1 or 2 training sessions, believe it or not, where we were practicing playing with the ball and throwing the bottles to each other. So because you literally, it was so hot, it was 120 degrees and very humid, and like that, it can be very difficult. So you've just got to try and get as much on board as you can, really. That's all you can do.